Okay, good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for joining our first year 11 parent forum of the year. We really appreciate this. I mean, I talk a lot about students being most successful at school when the family, the school and the student work really closely together to ensure maximum possible success for the students. So we really appreciate your support and your time tonight. Also, I hope that you feel that we're really welcoming of feedback and we're creating that culture here, and that's one of the main reasons for hosting tonight. Really, we've had sort of 3 or 4 weeks of the term so far, so it's just to ask you, you know, what's going well, what do you feel like we could be doing more of to support your child, and just to hear your thoughts and ideas and suggestions, really, as well as giving you some important information. I really want to just take a moment to commend this year 11, and I promise I don't say this every year, but they really are the hardest working year 11 cohort of any that I have ever seen, both at Lambeth Academy and previous schools that I have worked in. And I know we've got an incredible team working around them, obviously with Miss Butts and Mr. Ung. I feel like they couldn't be in better hands, and this was highlighted recently by an external visit that we had. You know, our visitor visited year 11 lessons. They were blown away by, in their words, the impeccable behaviour that was on show, and every single child in the lesson working as hard as possible and being really well supported by their teachers. So just a couple of bits from me before I hand over to Miss Butt. So the first is just to let you know that year 11s will be receiving an assembly in a week and a half, just to talk about sixth form, to talk about the process for applying, to talk about the options, and so hopefully they'll come back and have a chat to you about what they've learned and about what pathway they might want to pursue next year. And then just a plug for our next kind of really key year 11 information evening, which we call the final push evening, which is happening on the 21st of October. That will be an in-person event, and by then we'll have a little bit more data to share with you about specifically your child's progress, because I know obviously this event is to give you some quite generic but very important information and then give you that chance to ask any questions. So thank you so much again. It just shows how supportive you are of your child and their success that you're taking the time out tonight. Yeah, we're really, really grateful, and remember, our door is always open to feedback. So thank you. I'm now going to hand over to Miss Butts.
Thank you very much, Ms. Welch. And I want to just reiterate, thank you so much for joining us this evening. We want to just take you through some of the things that we're currently doing in year 11 to support your child. So as you'll see on the screen, we want to just discuss 3 of the main things that we're doing out of a lot of things on a daily basis to ensure that we are achieving the priorities that we set out for this year group. Firstly, how we're bridging the gap in knowledge from last year's lockdown and mass quarantine. Year 11 obviously start their day at 8 AM, where students sit in the canteen and complete silent and independent study for the first 30 minutes of the day. The benefits of this is we have built a safe learning environment to complete independent learning they may have a chance that they haven't done at home. The second benefit is that it reduces the inevitable anxiety around the workload and exam stress, and overall improving students' well-being. Homework detentions as a result have plummeted, and we've also had a massive buy-in to additional interventions such as English lectures. Students have willingly attended these and they've come out with some outstanding results in English. Morning independent study accumulates to 2.5 hours extra of learning that we get. Now you can see on the screen just some of the many feedback we got from students and some of their opinions on independent study. First of all, it's massively increased students' well-being as they feel more prepared for the day and they have time to revise each day leading up to the exams. In turn, students feel more prepared and more confident in their subjects. And this was really seen in a massive improvement in the results of their most recent end of year 10 data, which Mr. Ung is shortly going to speak about in a bit more detail. We've also had a bespoke intervention timetable where students are given as much support as possible. The second intervention I want to explain is masterclass. So recently, as Ms. Welch said, our regional director visited and he was taken back by the absolute dedication of each student and how hard they were working. And he actually said that they were the most hardest working Year 11s in the whole of United Learning. As you know, a typical day will start at 8 a.m. with independent study, but it's then followed by 30 minutes of either English or maths intervention. This is done in their morning tutor times and done by the head of department or one of the specialists in the team. The morning tutor is dynamic, and that means that we can move them from either English intervention to maths intervention based on their most recent data and what they need to improve on in that subject. After tutor time, we have 50-minute lessons, and then at the end of the day, we have a 1-hour masterclass. Masterclass is something you've probably heard your child speak about. This is an additional intervention class our Year 11 teaching staff are prepared to do every single day. Each day of the week is a different subject, so by the end of the week, a student has had an intervention for every single subject. This combined with morning tuition adds up to an additional 10 hours a week. And that is what we hope to be the big difference between us and other schools. We've also given them an opportunity for Champions Hour. This is a calm space for students who wish to stay at school, and this has made a huge difference to data, and lots of students have bought into this. You can see on the screen the masterclass timetable and the typical day. In addition to all the intervention, we've also built in to tutor times and the PM session, wellbeing sessions, spotlights into university, looking into sixth form, morning gym clubs, morning Hegarty rooms, which are open from 7:30, boys and girls mentoring. This has all been put in place to support your child, and we will shortly be providing your child with an intervention pocket timetable, which will be able to regularly check and support your child. I'm going to hand over to Mr. Ung, who's going to go through some of the impact of that intervention.
Good evening all. My name is Mr. Ung, like Ms. Butch just said. I'm the assistant principal responsible for the results at Key Stage 4. I want to take this time to assure you that all this additional work your children and the teachers are doing every day is having a major impact. In just 2 years, we are close to doubling the percentage of students who are achieving a 4 or higher in English and maths. We are now giving students a real chance to go on and do A-levels and then university. We're asking a huge amount from the students each day, but I want you to understand that everything we do is to give them more options in life. 2 years ago, at the end of year 10, only 51 students achieved a grade 4 or higher in English. However, your children at the end of year 10 did something amazing. They put Lambeth on the map. All of their hard work resulted in our 4+ at English going up to 86%. 5+ and 7+ grades also had a huge uplift. So much so that we've done the biggest jump in the entire of United Learning. That's 46 schools we've made the biggest uplift in both English and maths. Here are the maths results. Same story. In 2 years, we moved from 45% 4+ to 66%. Again, the biggest uplift in the entire of United Learning. Imagine what we can achieve by the end of year 11 at this rate. Your children will be achieving the best grades this school has ever seen. Before we take questions, one more thing I just want to say. The first is a plea. We can't achieve anything without your child here. We know there are the times of worrying and the pandemic is still very real. But for any other reason, such as a stomachache, a headache, we want you to send them in. We lost a lot of learning time because of lockdowns, and we're doing a good job at catching them up, but we need them here to do that. Attendance is so significant. If your child is not in school, then they're falling behind everyone in their class, the year group, and in the country. If they're really sick and we think they'll genuinely benefit from being at home, then of course we'll send them home. But there's a definite correlation between attendance and grades. And finally from us, some key dates you need to know. The first is teachers will be deciding on predicted grades in 2 weeks' time. These are really significant as they'll help us inform who is at risk of underperforming in the mocks. Please encourage your child to be doing everything possible to boost their grade from now on. Next, we have a really important English exam taking place on the 18th of October that your child should be preparing for now, each night. After that, on the 21st, we'll be having our Year 11 final push evening that Mrs. Welch mentioned, where we're going to invite you all in person to come in for a presentation, which is going to be essential to the year. Your child will be taking 3 sets of mocks this year. Each one they should prepare as if it was the real thing. I promise you, we'll be working relentlessly hard in school for them. We just need you to support us from home. We're launching revision next week, so you can ask your child about the techniques they're learning at school, ask them to see the revision timetable. Things like that will really help support us. Thank you guys for listening. We've got a lot more to say when we do next month, but we thought you needed to know this stuff now just to have that reassurance that what they're doing each day is taking an impact. We're now going to take some questions that you guys have been posted, and if you haven't posted, please do so. So just take this moment to write a question in the box if you wish. Of course, if you don't think of a question now, you can also email us. Both of our emails are on the school website under the Year 11 section. Should be pretty easy to find, and of course your children will know it. Just give it another minute. Okay, so I think there's probably no questions. I'm sure you'll have lots to say when we see you in person next month. But like I said, if you do have any feedback, please don't hesitate to email us or call the school and we'll contact you back as soon as possible. Thank you for your time tonight, and we'll be seeing you soon.
Thank you.